Hi again, Doodlers. It's Chris here, making another little video. Going back to March 2011 when I first started and learned about Zentangle from my friend Opal. This is one of my first sketchbooks. It's a Strathmore 6 1/4 by 8 1/2, and I basically did pretty much everything in this book, from just whatever I felt like working on to testing out patterns to practice. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of how I started. We all have to start someplace, and I know a lot of people say I can't draw, but really basically everybody doodles and anybody can learn how to draw. And if you look back and see your early work, I really think you should go do that, because you can see how much you've improved just by practicing the lines that you draw. Sorry for my hands getting in the way. I haven't figured out how to do this yet. Some of them I kind of didn't finish. Some of them I didn't shade. I was really just basically learning about patterns then, and every pattern I found I really liked to try. So I think I probably had my first two books were Totally Tangled and Yoga for the Brain. Highly recommend them. I think everybody should have them in their little library. And there are a lot of drawings in this book, so I don't want to bore you guys, but just showing you stages I went through. This paper in the Strathmore book is kind of thin. It's perforated, so you can rip the pages out without having the rings, that little garbagey part by the rings. But if you look at the back, you can see the bleed through. I mean, I wouldn't draw on the backs of these pages at all. I really had a thing for Muka for a while. This was one of my first patterns I created, which was Archer, and it is on tanglepatterns.com. I was kind of thrilled about that, and I always get a kick out of seeing it used. It's kind of neat to have something that you didn't discover, but you kind of put it together out there. I really, this is probably one of my favorite patterns, this little leafy plumy thing. I think they call it Flux, and I think my next video is going to be demonstrating my pattern Cirque, which came from me constantly drawing those little plumes. I just love them. You could see them here. Again, I just kind of get a little addicted to patterns. And I think I would like to say I have improved. I think anybody, when you do something often enough, you're going to improve. So practice makes better. I don't think it makes perfect, because we have to learn not to be too critical. But I really think that if you give it a try, just get going. Don't worry about what it's called. Doesn't matter if it's Doodles. It doesn't matter if it's Zentangle. Doesn't matter what you want to call it. Just do it. This was just a little, when I discovered mandalas, just fooling around. Trying out new patterns. Somebody asked me yesterday, do I practice patterns before I put them in a book? Yes, I do. Especially if it's something that looks difficult to me. And a lot of things look difficult to me. I really like this cross hatching. I have gotten away from doing it, but I think it adds something different than just putting a black background and coloring in solid black. This is an example of what I mean by the bleed through. It almost looks the same on the other side. And sometimes I forget my books are right side up. This is Maryhill, which is a really nice pattern to try. It really pops when you shade it with pencil. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions, I'd really appreciate them. If you'd like to see something specific, I'd be more than happy to try. Happy doodling!